In this video, we are going to learn how to identify when a plant is suffering from a disease, and we will also explore the different types of natural defenses that plants have developed over time to protect themselves from getting infected in the first place. Just like humans, plants are susceptible to a wide variety of diseases caused by different types of microorganisms such as fungi, bacteria, and viruses, as well as by larger organisms including pests like insects. In addition to infections, plants can also suffer from deficiency diseases which occur when the plant does not get enough of the essential minerals it needs to function properly. Two of the most important minerals for plant health are nitrates and magnesium ions. Nitrates are essential for the production of proteins which are necessary for growth and repair, so when plants do not get enough nitrates, they often show stunted growth, meaning they remain smaller and grow less than they should. Magnesium ions are crucial because they are needed to make chlorophyll, which is the green pigment in leaves that allows plants to carry out photosynthesis. When a plant is deficient in magnesium, it cannot produce enough chlorophyll, which results in a condition called chlorosis, where the leaves turn yellow due to lack of chlorophyll. Apart from these nutritional issues, there are many other symptoms that can indicate a plant is diseased. These may include unusual or abnormal growth such as lumps, misshapen or malformed stems and leaves, areas of decay where the tissue is rotting, or patches of discolored spots on the leaves. In some cases, the cause of the disease may be visible, especially when it involves larger organisms like aphids or spider mites, which can often be seen with the naked eye. When diagnosing plant diseases, the simplest approach is to observe the plant and try to match the visible symptoms with descriptions in a gardening manual or online plant care guide. However, if this method does not yield clear answers, a more precise approach would be to send a sample of the affected plant to a plant pathologist, a specialist who studies plant diseases and can carry out more sophisticated testing. These experts might examine a small sample of plant tissue under a microscope to look for signs of infection or damage. They may also test for the presence of unique antigens, which are special proteins that identify specific pathogens, and this can sometimes be done using monoclonal antibodies. Alternatively, the most advanced method would involve running DNA tests to search for genetic material from pathogens in the plant sample, which is often the most reliable way to determine the exact cause of the disease. On a more practical level, gardeners often use a trial-and-error approach to treatment. For example, if the leaves of a plant are turning yellow and you suspect a magnesium deficiency, you could add a magnesium supplement to the soil and see if the symptoms improve. Similarly, if you think a fungal infection is the issue, you might spray the plant with an antifungal solution and monitor the response. The advantage of this trial-and-error method is that you can try one treatment at a time, and if it does not work, you can move on to the next likely solution. Now that we have covered symptoms and diagnosis, we need to look at how plants defend themselves against diseases. These defenses fall into three broad categories, which are physical defenses, chemical defenses, and mechanical defenses. Physical defenses are structural barriers that physically stop pathogens from entering the plant. Examples include the waxy cuticle that coats the leaves and stems of many plants, providing a waterproof layer that blocks pathogens, the tough cell walls that surround each plant cell and make it harder for microbes to penetrate, and layers of dead cells such as bark that surround and protect the stem. Chemical defenses involve the secretion of substances that either kill or deter harmful organisms. Plants can produce antimicrobial compounds that kill bacteria and fungi or toxic substances that repel or poison insects. In fact, the chemical abilities of plants are so advanced that many of the medicines we use today are derived from plant chemicals. One well-known example is aspirin, a pain-relieving drug originally developed from a chemical found in the bark and leaves of willow trees. Lastly, mechanical defenses include structures or movements that physically deter animals or insects from attacking the plant. These include sharp thorns that make it painful for animals to eat them, tiny hairs on stems or leaves that irritate or prevent insects from landing, and leaves that can curl up or droop when touched by insects, reducing the chance of being eaten or infected. These defenses work together to protect plants from harm and are vital for their survival. That brings us to the end of this video. If you found it helpful or interesting, please do consider liking and subscribing for more content like this, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next video.